Hey people, in this part we are going to discuss something about nystagmus. Nystagmus is one topic which your examiners are very keen in asking, and it is among the difficult to understand one. Now I will make it simplify. It is very simple once you get the concept. Now there are two types of nystagmus. One is peripheral and other is central. So first we will discuss what they want to ask, then we will discuss something in detail. Now what they want to ask, they want to ask you a simple MCQ based upon key vertical upbeat nystagmus is seen in, or vertical downbeat nystagmus is seen in. So how you will remember it? So first just see this diagram which I have drawn here. Now just suppose we have a drum beating. Now when the drum goes down, that is vertical downbeat, we see it with the lesion in the cerebellum. When the drum beat goes up, that is vertical upbeat, the lesion is somewhere between midbrain and pons, or pons and medulla oblongata. So these two conditions were confusing, so I made a diagram so that you remember it in your examination. Just remember it like vertical downbeat with the cerebellum, vertical upbeat with the midbrain or pons or medulla oblongata. So here you can see the vertical downbeat with the cerebellum, lesions of cerebellum, and vertical upbeat with the lesions of junction between pons and medulla or pons and midbrain. So this was about upbeat and downbeat. Now it becomes a little simpler. There are two more types of nystagmus. The central nystagmus, one is purely torsional and one is pendular. So pendular is seen in multiple sclerosis and torsional is seen in when there will be any lesion at the vestibular nuclei or brainstem. Okay, so you got the concept. Now I think you will be able to answer. So just repeat it with me. Downbeat with the cerebellar region, upbeat with somewhere in the junction of midbrain and pons or medulla oblongata. Torsional is with vestibular nuclei or brainstem, and pendular is with multiple sclerosis. So what is important here is pendular and the torsional and the downbeat one. Okay, so they can ask you. Now there are some more conditions like downbeat, which we are studying in the cerebellum, degenerative lesions in the cerebellum. It can also be seen in Arnott-Chiari malformation. So basically in any craniocervical region lesion, it can be a vertical downbeat. Arnott-Chiari malformation and degenerative lesions of cerebellum will give you downbeat. Upbeat is in, you already know, torsional is in brainstem or vestibular nuclei, and one in condition of syringomyelia. So this was the thing, the basic thing which is important regarding your MCQ. Now how to differentiate vestibular or peripheral nystagmus from the central. So we will discuss it in points like, so in any peripheral lesion there will be latency. That means latency of around 2 to 20 seconds of nystagmus latency will be there. The duration will be less than around 1 minute, and it will be having some direction. So direction will be fixed towards the lesion site or the affected site, or to the opposite side. There will be fatigability. That means at one or other time the nystagmus will reduce gradually, and it will be associated with severe vertigo. So what do you mean by peripheral? Peripheral vertigo or nystagmus is basically due to lesion of the labyrinth or eighth nerve, while central is when there is lesion in the central neural pathways like vestibular nuclei, brainstem and the cerebellum. So we have discussed about peripheral, that it will have some latency, duration will be less than 1 minute, and there will be fixed direction and fatigability and will be associated with vertigo. But with the central nystagmus there won't be any latency, it will be for more than 1 minute, the direction will be changing, it will be non-fatigable, and vertigo may or may not be present. Another thing clinically, how you can differentiate whether it is a peripheral nystagmus or a central one, So you can do it by the Frenzel glass. Do see the image of Frenzel glass, how it looks like. So nystagmus of peripheral origin can be suppressed by optic fixation. That means if a person or a patient looks at a fixed point, then this peripheral nystagmus will disappear. So what happens is, with the Frenzel glasses you can omit the nystagmus of peripheral origin, but the nystagmus of central origin cannot be suppressed by the optic fixation. So that was the concept I wanted to give you. Hope you will make it correct if asked, and thank you for your patient listening.